clipped to your lapel, and so I'll do my very best not to create any feedback. First and foremost, I'm very grateful for everybody that's here and everybody that has been here tonight. I appreciate it more than what you would ever know. Thank you. For those of you that don't know me, or don't know me very well, my name is Brent Eaton, and I'm going to be the next prosecutor in Hancock County. I grew up here in Greenfield, and I'm going to date David just a little bit. I went to school with his kids here in town and graduated from high school here, and went to Wabash College, where I then graduated, went to law school, and graduated from law school in Indianapolis. And my first job out of law school was working, my first legal job out of law school was working for Scott Newman's prosecutor's office. And during my time there, I personally prosecuted about 1,000 cases. I personally tried more cases than what it is that honestly I can remember. There would be times when I might try 2 or 3 cases in a single afternoon because that was the volume of the court where I was working. After having a little bit more than a year in Marion County, I came home, and I worked in the prosecutor's office here in Hancock County for about 3.5 years. During that period of time, I personally handled about 5,000 criminal prosecutions. I was responsible for what charges would be filed, making that determination about 5,000 separate times. I had more evidentiary hearings, more sentencing hearings, more initial hearings than what I can count or I can remember. I tried more cases than what I can remember. And I did that every single day for about 3.5 years. When I left the prosecutor's office, I went to work downtown. And over the last 3 years, every morning I've gotten up and put my suit on and gone to criminal court around central Indiana. And during that period of time, I've tried cases for major felony dealing in narcotics, murder, robbery, operating while intoxicated, major felony battery, and that's pretty much all that I've been doing over the last few years. What I tell people if they call me is I tell them, if you're going to get divorced, don't call me. If you're going to sue somebody, please don't call me. But if you have a question about the criminal law or you need help because you might have a criminal problem, I'm a pretty good guy to know. And what I've really done over the last several years is try to dedicate my career towards expertise in that particular area. That's what I really know how to do. Now there's 3 things that I really think we need to look at for prosecutor. I think the first thing you need to look at is how well does somebody know the community where they're going to serve. As a boy, I was in the Riley Days Parade and walked up to James Whitcomb Riley and gave him my flowers. And we've got our family here, and I know this community. I know its people. I know what its standards are, and more importantly, I understand what they expect from the office of prosecuting attorney. I know what's expected. The second thing that's important is you have to look at how well does a particular candidate understand the criminal law and understand how it really works. And as I just mentioned, that's really about the only thing that I've done since I got out of law school is work in the criminal court and criminal law area. And so that's something I feel pretty comfortable about. And finally, and I think most importantly, is it's important to look at what's the motivation. Why does somebody want to have this job and all of the headaches that I know that it brings? And what I can tell you is that I want that job because I want my family and my friends, and the kiddos and my parents that have the same quality of life in this community that I had when I was a kid. And that's what I want to help create and to help preserve by being your prosecutor. I've been very, very fortunate in my life to be able to see and to do a lot of very, very special things. And among them, I've had the opportunity to travel to some places where maybe the government's not quite as responsive to its people as what we have here. I spent some time in Russia, and I spent a summer overseas studying in Beijing, China. And needless to say, the Chinese Communist Party is not quite as responsive to its people as what we have here in our local government. And, well, they're not. They'll just mow you over over there. It's not a good deal at all. And having lived in those places for a little bit of time, it's helped me to become very, very sincerely thankful for living in the United States and for living in Hancock County. And I truly do realize how incredibly fortunate I am to have the background and have the home that I do. And I understand that the prosecutor's job is to serve the people. And one of the great things that I'm thankful about that is so different here than those other places I mentioned is that here the government really doesn't get to decide who's going to be the next prosecutor. We get to decide. The government doesn't get to decide which direction the office is going to go. Each and every one of you gets to decide. And I know that working together beginning today and every day from now until May 4th that we're going to be successful. And I know that with all of us working together, we will be able to make a change in the prosecutor's office, and we'll be able to help this county be all that it can be on this day and every day from that day forward. And I am incredibly grateful for all of you being here. I'm incredibly grateful for all of your time and all of your patience. And I hope all of you have a very good night. I'd be happy to answer any questions anybody may have as soon as I put the microphone on. Thank you very much.